the music, the waiters, and the program. All this was simply non-existent as he sat and he fabrained at the head table like it was a Shabbos afternoon. So let us take a cue from your dear Zayda, Meir Itkin, and as we gather tonight for Chassidus Simcha, let's try to transform the Simcha for a few moments into a real Chassidische Fabrengen in honor of such a special day of Chav Chasidim. In order to help us transition to this Fabrengen before the dessert comes and ruins it, it's a great pleasure and kavod that we call upon our Chassid, and Rav Yehuda Leibel Shapiro, the Rebbe Shliach, Hamada Da'asa, Reish Yeshivas Tein Cheturim, Miami Beach, a Chaver and Vad Rabani Lubavitch Eilami, someone who also served in the Chava Mareches and Vad Lafotzi Siches and Mareches Eitzer Chasidim, but personally, I can tell you somebody who I among thousands of others have become his Talmidim in recent months and years, thanks to his daily Zichrenis, which he sends out and connects so many of us to the Rebbe in such a strong way. So before Rabbi Shapiro addresses us in honor of this very special day, we'd like to ask you to give your attention to the screen as we watch a brief video of Tzir Pnei Harav, of seeing the Rebbe's holy image, incorporating some Divrei Seires, words that were shared by Zalmi, the Bar Mitzvah Bacher, by his Zayda Gerari during the Bar Mitzvah of his father, Rabbi Beryl Gerari, which took place in Elul of Tafshin and Gimel exactly 25 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you have a l'chaim on your table, feel free to fill up your glass and join us as we celebrate a Chassidish Fabrengen.
Hardy Mazel Tov. And the Bar Mitzvah Bacher should grow up to be a Chassid Yerushalayim Navam, as we heard before. And we know the Rebbe would, many times when, by dollars, other times when someone would say, becoming Bar Mitzvah, the Rebbe would say, Zozayin a greiser Chassid, a greiser Yerushalayim, a greiser Lam. M'chaim, M'chaim. It's actually a great honor and pleasure for me to be able to participate in this special Bar Mitzvah from a very special, outstanding Bar Mitzvah Bacher. And I'm not staying in Stam Azay. I asked his teacher, and he said he's a Gvaldige Bacher. And coming from such illustrious families from all sides, illustrious family in Lubavitch, I think it's a great honor to be able to be here and say a few words in honor of this special Bar Mitzvah. Now we know that the Alter Rebbe said, we have to live with the time, that means with the Parsha of the week. And the lessons that the Bar Mitzvah Bacher has to get, and the truth is, it's not only a lesson for Bar Mitzvah Bacher that we give by a Bar Mitzvah, it's a lesson to all of us. We just have to find an excuse. So we check the Zachon on the Bar Mitzvah Bacher, but really it means it's a lesson for all of us. So the lesson that we have to take this week, this Bar Mitzvah, and this week's Parsha is Parshas Korach. Now the Rebbe asked the Shaila, why would a Parsha be called by the name of Korach? Korach was a wicked man, he was a bad person. But we know we don't give names after a bad person. Why would the Parsha in the Torah be called Korach? Obviously the Rebbe says there is something good in Korach. Even though Korach made a machlokes, a great revolt against Moshe Rabbeinu, but there was something good that we have to learn from him. Like the Rebbe always does, he takes something that seems to be negative, and the Rebbe finds something good in it. So the Rebbe explains there is something good in what Korach wanted. What did Korach want? He wanted to be a Kohen Gadol. What's a Kohen Gadol? A Kohen Gadol is a person that is very, very close to Hashem. A Kohen Gadol that only serves Hashem, and that's all he does. And very, very close to Hashem. Korach wanted to be a Kohen Gadol. That's a good part. Every Yid should want to be a Kohen Gadol. He acted upon it in the wrong way, and it turned out to be a big Aveda. But the etzem zach that he wanted to be a Kohen Gadol, had a desire to be a Kohen Gadol, the Rebbe says that's good. That's something that we should learn from Korach, to want to be a Kohen Gadol, but not to do what he did in order to get it. But the desire a Yid has to have, every Yid has to have a desire to be a Kohen Gadol. And the Rebbe explains, interestingly, when Moshe Rabbeinu spoke to the 250 people who were on Korach's side, they all wanted to be Kohanim Gdolim. And Moshe Rabbeinu said to them, there is only one Kohen Gadol. V'atem reish nu nish. Reishim li, you 250 want to be a Kohen Gadol, there's only one Kohen Gadol. And then Moshe Rabbeinu added a few words, which is very, very strange. Moshe Rabbeinu said to them, "Af ani reitze bekach." I also want to be a Kohen Gadol, but I can't. Why would Moshe Rabbeinu, the Rebbe asks, say something that seems as if he's on their side? He connects himself to them. It reminds me of, the Alter Rebbe said that when they arrested him and they interrogated him, one of the questions they asked him was, "Are you connected to the Baal Shem Tov?" And the Alter Rebbe said, "Had I answered no, they would have released me. But I didn't want to be separated from the Baal Shem Tov, afilu b'dibur, even words, for 1 second." Moshe Rabbeinu would say words which seem to connect him to the 250 people who are rebelling against Hashem. So why did Moshe Rabbeinu say, "Af ani reitze bekach"? I also want it. And the Rebbe says, because it's fakir. A Yid should want to be a Kohen Gadol. Every Yid should want to. Moshe Rabbeinu said to them, "What you want is very good. I also want it. But then you have to know your limits, what you got to do about it. You can't do something that's against Hashem's will to get it. But the fact that you want to be a Kohen Gadol, that's something very great. And that's the lesson that we have to take from Korach, and that's why the parsha is called Korach. The parsha is not called Vayikach or Vayikach Korach, even though the name of a parsha usually is after the first words. And the first word is Vayikach, because Vayikach is the problem. The Targum says Vayikach means he took Vayispalik, he separated, he rebelled. That's no good. That we don't call the parsha. But Korach himself, the Etzem, Korach's desire, that's good. That's something that we have to learn from. And that's something that our mitzvah bochen has to learn from. And that should guide him in his life. That his desire should be that when it comes to Ruchnius, you always have to look higher and you want to go more and more to the highest madregas. You always have to look up. I remember the Rebbe once by Fabrengen explained the Lashon where we say, it says in Posik, Vashamayim mimal, ba'al ha'oretz mitochas. The Shamayim above and the Oretz, the land down. When it comes to inyonim of Shamayim, when it comes to things of Shamayim, spiritual matters, mimal, we always have to look up. We have to look to people who are greater than me. I want to be like that too. You have to look up. When it comes to things of Oretz, materialistic things, then it's mitochas, you always have to look down. I have enough, I can manage with less also. But in Ruchnisdik inyonim, you have to remember that's the main thing. Gashmisdik things are temporary. They're all Gashmis. Ruchnius is forever. It's eternal. That's the main thing, and that's what you always want to get more and more and more. You have to have that desire. Like a famous story with the Mezeritcher Magid, that once somebody came to the Mezeritcher Magid and came to his house, and he saw how poor he was. He didn't have any beds, he had a piece of wood with a board, and that was his table, and that was his bed, had no furniture. And this man was a guest to Mezeritch, and he came, and he couldn't take it. He says to the Magid, "Rebbe, how could you live like this? Where is your furniture?" So he turns around to him and he says, "And where is your furniture?" He says, "I have it at home." So the Mezeritch Magid says, "I also have my furniture at home. My home is l'mayla ruchnisdike things. Und in Stub is God anders. In Stub habe ich anders. In Stub it's different." That's the Indian Ruchni is something that we have to remember is permanent. And that's where we have to strive to always go higher and higher and higher. And that we should learn from Korach. That Korach wanted to be a Kohen Gadol, we should also want to be a Kohen Gadol closer to Hashem. And that's the lesson to the Bar Mitzvah Bocher, starting his life as an adult. He should realize, and his guiding light should be that his desire, his she'ifah should be Ruchnius, more and more and more. And the Gashmi is that the Eibusher will give already. That's not something that we have to have, our she'ifah. And this is connected to the Ashgocha Pratis, as we heard a few times before, that today is Chof Chesed, the day that the Rebbetzin came to America. They escaped war-torn Europe, and they managed to be safe, and they came to America. And to us, that's something very special. That the Rebbe was saved, and now we have the Rebbe. But it's more than that. The Rebbe's coming to America made a complete change in the face of America, in the face of the world. We know when the Frierdiker Rebbe came to America on Tes Oder, he made a proclamation. He came here to prove and to do that America is nicht anders, America is not different. And he started to make schools and mikvahs and yeshivas, and he started reviving Yiddishkeit in America. But when did it really take off? When did it start with a greater offensive? Like the Rebbe calls it Aknufa. That's when the Rebbe came to America. When the Rebbe came to America, Chav Chassidim, the Frierdiker Rebbe appointed the Rebbe to be the head of the organizations, which we would call nowadays the outreach organizations, Machne Yisrael, Americas, and Kahos. He made the Rebbe the head of these organizations that changed the face of the world. All the inyonim that we see there, the Rebbe accomplished. The shluchim, the thousands of shluchim in the world, all over the world. And here, by this bar mitzvah, we have a sample of many of them. All over the world. It all started with Chav Chassidim. It all started, the Rebbe started working then, and then continued, till after Tovshin Yud, when the Rebbe took over the Messias. And then it went with Yoda Gedela, Yoda Chazok, it went so strong, till we have now that it changed the face of Yiddishkeit and even the world Bechlal. We could start thinking and imagining what would have been, if not for the Rebbe, what would the world look like? What would Yiddishkeit in the world look like? It's mamish like in the time of the Baal Shem Tov. We know what the Pinchas Koritzer said, that the Baal Shem Tov was sent into this world because Yiddishkeit was in a faint. Because after the Tachvetat, the pogroms, after Shabsai Tzvi, Yiddishkeit was in a low. The nature is when a person faints and you can't revive him, one of the ways to do it is call him by his name. Yiddishkeit had to be revived. There wasn't a faint, Rabbi Pinchas Koritzer writes. So the Eibishter brought down the neshama of the Baal Shem Tov. His name was Yisrael, the name of Klal Yisrael. He called Klal Yisrael by their name, and that revived Yiddishkeit. Not to go into the history, people who are familiar know the history, this revived Yiddishkeit. The same thing took place here. It was after the Holocaust. In America, Yiddishkeit was all the way down with so many Eden. The Eibishter did the same thing again. He brought a second Baal Shem Tov. He had to be Menachem Klal Yisrael, just like over there he had to call Klal Yisrael by their name. He had to be Menachem, comfort Klal Yisrael to bring him back up. And that was through the Rebbe, and it all started on Chav Chassidim when the Rebbe reached the shores of America. And what the Rebbe did, he changed the mindset of the people, realizing that Ruchnius, Yiddishkeit, is more important than Gashmius. But we're saying that Kairach wanted more Ruchnius, and that part is the good part. That's when the Rebbe brought the mindset even in the Lahat Goyim. Certain by Eden that they started looking at Yiddishkeit as something very special. So a bar mitzvah that takes place on Chav Chassidim. But a bar mitzvah from such a special family, a Chassidish family, from the Zaydas and the Bobas and Allah and Yonim, like we heard before, which fits to this idea, what Chassidus says that we have to the head as Eidei Gulvade, the Eibishter, and that's it. And a day like Chav Chassidim, so you have all the ingredients here, that Zalman is going to grow up to be a real Chassid, a Greiser Chassid, a real Yerushalayim, a Greiser Yerushalayim, a real Lampi, a Greiser Lampi. In fact, I love the Nigla. She'll learn a lot of Nigla. The Rebbe wanted that the Bochrim should be loaded. The Rebbe wanted that the Bochrim should learn a lot of Nigla. The Rebbe couldn't take when he heard the people say, Lubavitcher Bochrim, Kevin Mishlina. And the Rebbe was Agnes Nefesh. So you'd be a real Lampi. Okay, Chosid comes first. He said the Maimer first. Actually, by my bar mitzvah, when I went into Yechidus, my father asked the Rebbe, since I'm going to say the Maimer and the Pilpul, what comes first? He asked the Rebbe. I think I'll put it on the WhatsApp. And the Rebbe answered, and I was in Yechidus, the Rebbe said, 3 years Olazot in the Maimer. So Chosid Yerushalayim Alam. And you should be a source of nachas to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe should be able to look at you and say, in Florida, you could grow up to be a real Chosik Yeshamayim Alam and nachas to your parents and the Klal Yisrael, and from this Simcha we should go to the great Simcha, Simchas Olam Al Reishon, which the Rebbe said, Otot Kum Moshiach, we should see him talk about Pel Mamish, Ve'eina Bosor, V'meira V'yameinu V'korim Mamish, L'chaim, L'chaim.
She sleeps over, and then she leaves 2 o'clock, and then she goes 2 hours each way. And then she comes back at night or early in the morning, and then she leaves at 2 and I I'm actually...
Past your bedtime?
Yeah.